You lie in bed, still and warm. The covers cocoon your body like a gentle pause. Nothing stirs. The walls are quiet. Even the air seems to sleep. But time does not stop. For you it flows, like water under ice, invisible, quiet, but ever moving. You cannot see it, but you feel it, don't you? In your breath, in your heartbeat, in the small drift of dreams pulling at the edges of your mind. Outside your window, the world moves. Not just the wind or the turning of the earth, but everything all at once. The universe dances to a rhythm older than stars. And time, that quiet partner, moves with it. But what is time? You've seen it on clocks, heard it in countdowns, felt it in birthdays. You've marked it with calendars and candles, schedules and shadows. But those are only reflections, echoes of something deeper. Time at its heart is not a thing you see. It's a relationship, a rhythm, a way the universe keeps track of change. It whispers, this came before, this will come after, this is now, and yet here is a secret. Time does not always tick at the same pace. It's not as solid as you've been told. In fact, if you move, time stretches. Imagine you are standing on a platform. A train rushes past. Inside, a passenger shines a flashlight from the floor to the ceiling and back again. Simple, right, up, down. But from your view on the platform, the light moves in a zigzag because the train is moving. That light now has to travel farther, and because light cannot speed up or slow down, it always moves at the same speed. Something else must give way, time to keep the light's pace true. Time itself slows down for the person on the train. Not just their clock. Their heartbeat, their breath, their thoughts. All move slightly slower compared to yours. This is not a trick. It's not an illusion. It is how reality works. This was Einstein's gift to the world. The idea that time is not fixed, not rigid, not absolute. It bends and shifts, like fabric stretched in motion. The faster you move, the more it stretches. You're still lying there, but your mind begins to move. What does this mean for you? It means movement, even gentle, even invisible, affects how you age. If you were to fly in a fast jet orbit the Earth, or drift in a spacecraft, time would slow for you. Slightly, just a few microseconds. But in the quiet language of the cosmos, that counts. Imagine a clock on your wrist and a clock on the wall. You fly around the world and return. Your clock ticks slightly fewer seconds than the one on the wall. You are younger, not by much, but measurably so. And this isn't just theory. It has been measured. Atomic clocks, precise 2/1000th of a second, have shown it. One moves, the other stays, and they tick differently. The faster the motion, the greater the change. Now your breath slows. You're floating gently in this thought. You think of astronauts in orbit, circling Earth again and again. Their clocks tick just a little slower than yours. Their cells age at a gentler pace. It's not magic. It's motion. This slowing of time is called time dilation. A beautiful phrase. It sounds like silk pulled slowly through your fingers. Dilation, the stretching of something you thought was constant. But here is the tender truth. This stretching is always with you. Even as you lie in stillness, your planet spins. Your solar system spirals. You are already moving, already shifting through time's slow current. Every heartbeat is part of the journey. Your body doesn't feel it. You can't taste the seconds. changing speed, but science can. It listens with instruments more sensitive than ears, more precise than eyes. And what it hears is a universe where time is elastic, soft in motion, fluid with gravity, gentle in its bending. You wonder now, what is stillness, really? You've spent your life chasing calm, slowing down, resting. But even in your deepest sleep, you are never still. The earth beneath you spins at over 1,600 kilometers an hour. It hurls around the sun at nearly 30 kilometers per second. And the sun itself dances through the galaxy. You are part of this motion, a passenger on a cosmic ride you did not choose, yet belong to deeply stillness. Then is only relative. You are still compared to your blanket, still compared to your room, but to the universe. You are always in flight. This brings a softness to your breath. You're not waiting for time to pass, you are moving through it. Always. Now think of something small, a particle of dust, floating in the air above you, invisible, weightless. It, too, is moving, jostled by air currents, nudged by sound waves, shaped by the warmth of your skin. In its tiny world, time also stretches and curves. Even for dust, the dance of time and motion is real. So what happens when we move faster? Much faster. That question leads us into space, where astronauts become time travelers, just by orbiting Earth. Their aging slows, their clocks tick differently, and their return becomes a kind of reunion with time. But that is for later. For now, you stay here, wrapped in thought, listening. There's something comforting in knowing time is not a rigid path. That your age is not just a number of birthdays, but a journey shaped by how you move, where you go, and how fast you travel. In some small, quiet way, you have always shaped your own time, even if the difference is tiny, a fraction of a second here, a moment there. It means the story of your life is never entirely synced with anyone else's. And isn't that beautiful? You are walking your own thread of time, and every step, every heartbeat is yours alone. Let's return once more to that train, the light bouncing up and down in a zigzag. The person inside, unaware that time for them is slightly slower. To them, everything feels normal. The clock ticks, the heart beats, the world hums, and that's how it is for you, too. You cannot feel time stretching, but it does. Quietly, constantly, and one day, perhaps far from now, that stretching might mean something profound. A longer life, a gentler aging, a different kind of time. Even now, as you rest, something inside you is still ticking, not just with rhythm, but with possibility. A possibility shaped by motion, and by the gentle bending of time itself. There's a tenderness in that idea, that time does not rule you, it moves with you. It yields, ever so slightly, to your journey, and as you drift closer to sleep, you begin to sense it, a strange comfort, knowing that stillness is only the beginning. That movement shapes time, even as time shapes you. Perhaps you are not aging in one direction, but unfolding softly, slowly, like a flower under stars. The seconds that touch your skin tonight are not the same seconds that touched you yesterday. They are a little slower, a little softer, because you moved, because you existed in motion, and that changes everything. Now, as your breath deepens and your body grows heavier, the thought returns. If moving fast can slow time, What happens when you're already in motion and don't even feel it? If stillness is only an illusion, then how fast are you going really? If every step, every orbit, every spin affects your time, what does it mean to be still in a moving world? Asterisk, you are lying still, or so it seems. But stillness is a story the body tells you to make sense of the silence. Underneath your skin, your blood hums. Your cells divide. Your lungs draw invisible air. And beyond your window, your world hurtles through space at impossible speeds. You are on a planet spinning at over 1,600 kilometers per hour at the equator. As it turns, it orbits the sun at nearly 30 kilometers per second. And that sun, burning bright in the dark sea of the galaxy, is moving too, dragging the solar system behind it, like a long, spiraling comet. Even when you sleep, you are flying. Even when you rest, you are in motion, but you don't feel it, because your body measures movement by resistance, by the press of wind on your cheeks, or the weight shifting in your feet. If everything around you moves at once, your senses grow quiet. The train glides smoothly, the airplane hums, the earth spins, and you forget to notice. This is the illusion of stillness, a calm, wrapped in velocity. But time does not forget. It listens. Asterisk, the faster you move, the slower your seconds flow, not because the minutes change, but because motion bends time's fabric. It stretches what was straight. It softens what was sharp. The faster you go, the less time touches you. You close your eyes and picture yourself on a beam of light, like Einstein once did. What would it feel like to fly that fast? Would time disappear completely? Would your aging freeze like frost on glass? It almost does. The closer you travel to the speed of light, the slower time becomes for you. 1,000 years could pass for the universe while only minutes pass in your body. This is not fiction. This is physics. This is the strange, tender truth. Motion is a shield against time. Asterisk, but it is not total. Not here, on Earth. Not yet. The speeds we reach in planes, in rockets, only shave off slivers, microseconds, nanoseconds still. They are real, and those moments of delay, of softness, are measured with the quietest tools humanity has built. Atomic clocks, pulsing with unbroken rhythm, able to sense the difference between a step and a sprint, between standing still and soaring through space. Now imagine two clocks. One rests on the ground. The other flies high in a jet for hours, then returns. They began in sync, but now, the flying clock is younger. Not by much, just a heartbeat, a breath. But in the language of time, that is everything. That is everything. Because it means aging is not only a matter of biology, it is a matter of motion. This is where science becomes poetry. Every second you experience is shaped by how fast you're going, and every part of you, your cells, your thoughts, your dreams exists within those seconds. Time is not something you pass through like a tunnel. It is something that stretches around you. Depending on how you move, you are the center of your own time. When you walk, when you dance, when you fly, you stretch time. You thin it, like silk pulled over distance. You move through it more gently, and the paradox. The faster you go, the slower you age. Stillness is not what preserves you. Motion is, but not all motion. Not the kind that tires you or strains your body, not the daily rush of tasks and noise. What matters is velocity, clean, constant speed, the kind a spacecraft holds as it circles Earth, the kind that makes the seconds hesitate. You are wrapped in this thought now. You lie there, and suddenly stillness feels different. Not empty, not paused, but full of hidden travel. Your skin resting on a mattress, your body surrounded by air, but yourself, your being, is part of a race that never stops. Motion is your birthright. You were born on a spinning rock. You grew under a moving sky. Even now your atoms tremble with quantum vibrations, tiny oscillations that never stand still. So why do we long for stillness? Why do we treat rest as a stopping point, instead of another kind of motion? Softer, yes, but just as vital. Stillness is a kind of rhythm too, a pause between notes. It is not the absence of movement, but the shape it takes when motion turns inward. When you meditate, you don't stop. You breathe more deeply. Your heartbeat finds a slower wave. And in that wave, time feels slower, because your mind stretches it. This is another mystery. Time is physical, but also felt. We measure time with machines, but we live it through memory, and memory is elastic. Think of how long a moment feels when you are afraid, how short it feels when you are in love, how days can blur, and minutes can linger. So even as clocks obey physics, your inner time follows feeling. Stillness bends both. It brings the illusion of permanence, and yet the earth never pauses beneath. This awareness changes something. You begin to see stillness not as a lack of speed, but as a hidden voyage. Like sitting on a ship drifting silently across a starless ocean. You do not see the motion, but it holds you, cradles you, carries you forward, and that forward is into time. Now imagine this. You board a spacecraft. You accelerate to near the speed of light. For you, days pass. For Earth, perhaps centuries. You return, younger than your grandchildren's grandchildren. You stepped into stillness and emerged in a different era. It's a thought experiment, but not entirely imaginary. It reveals the heart of the matter. Time is not a shared river. It's a personal stream, bending around how fast you move. Even your cells feel it. Some scientists now study how the body itself might react to time dilation. Could telomeres, the caps at the ends of your chromosomes, shorten more slowly in motion? Could metabolism adjust, cell by cell, to the stretched rhythm of space? We do not fully know, but we do know this. Astronauts return with clocks that tick behind us. Their bodies, slightly younger, in Earth's frame. Their moments, drawn out like starlight crossing distance. And you, lying there in the quiet, you are part of this question. Your breath aligns with the turning Earth. Your heart beats in sync with a planet racing around a star. You are still, and yet you are flying. What would it mean to live your life with that awareness? To rise in the morning and feel yourself on a moving world. To walk outside and remember that every step is a slight tilt in time. To know that your age is not fixed, it is sculpted by motion. There's peace in that thought. Because it means aging is not just decay, it's participation. It's movement through a universe that feels you. And perhaps, one day, when we live among the stars, we'll measure life not by years, but by orbits, by velocity, by the paths we took through softened time. For now, you return to your body, the warmth of your pillow, the hush in your chest, and the truth that you are never Truly still. Stillness is the illusion. Motion is the truth. And time listens only to the speed of your passage. So rest now, not to stop, but to ride. You are not paused. You are gliding. And the seconds, stretched by motion, are rocking you gently towards sleep. The night holds you like gravity. Your dreams prepare to lift. And deep within your cells, something ancient whispers, if we could move fast enough. Could we live forever? Asterisk, you are born into a moment. A single breath, shared with the world. But someone else is born with you, your twin, your mirror, your equal in time. You grow up side by side, laughing the same laugh, dreaming the same dreams. You measure your lives by each other, step by step, heartbeat by heartbeat. You eat the same food, feel the same sun. Your birthdays come together, wrapped in a single candlelit wish. Time, for a while, treats you the same. But then, something changes. One of you stays on Earth, the rhythm of life grounded in oceans and cities, in days and nights, in seasons that rise and fall. The other boards a spacecraft, a rocket, a flame, a departure, upward, outward, outward into orbit. Around the Earth again and again, not for days, but for years. This is not just a story. It is an experiment. A question with answers buried in physics and feeling. What happens to time when one of you leaves? From Earth, you watch them circle overhead, a silent star in motion. Every 90 minutes, their ship loops the globe. Their life is small up there, contained in walls and wires and floating water drops. But they are not alone. They carry time with them, and time, like a thread stretched between you both, begins to tug down here. Your days are long. The Earth spins beneath your feet. You age slowly, or so you think. But high above, where motion is faster and gravity is gentler, your twins' seconds tick differently. You can't feel it yet, but science knows. This is the twin paradox, a thought experiment that has become real. Einstein once imagined it, not as a puzzle, but as a whisper. What if time could split? And now, it has. The twin who stays on Earth continues to age at the rhythm 24 hours. One rotation, one sunrise to the next. But the twin who orbits Earth experiences time just slightly slower, because they are moving faster. Because they are farther from Earth's gravity. Because time, as we've seen, bends with speed and mass. The result, when the twin returns, they are younger, not metaphorically, not emotionally, physically. Their cells have aged a tiny bit less. Their clock has ticked a few seconds behind. It's a sliver, not enough to change a life, but enough to change everything you thought about time. You meet again, face to face. Their laugh still sounds like yours. Their eyes still match your own. But in the math of the cosmos, they are now from a different moment. Two people, same birthday, now slightly apart in time. Can time be fair? You wonder if it can treat twins differently. But perhaps fairness is not the right word. Perhaps time is not a judge, but a mirror. And the moment you step into motion, it reflects you differently. You remember now, every journey through space is also a journey through time. When your twin left, they didn't just go up. They went forward into a slower stream of seconds, and when they returned, they brought that stream with them. Their body carries fewer ticks of the clock. Their cells, wrapped in the silence of orbit, unfolded more gently. But still, you both lived, you both dreamed, you both changed. one faster, one slower. You reach out, and they take your hand. Can you feel it? The difference, it's not something you can touch, but it's there, in the hidden decimals of aging, in the way your voice has changed slightly more, in the way your bones perhaps creak a little louder. Time did not forget either of you. It simply followed different paths. You pause here, in this moment, to breathe it in. This isn't science fiction. It's been done. In 2015, astronaut Scott Kelly spent nearly a year aboard the International Space Station, while his identical twin, Mark, remained on Earth. When Scott returned, scientists measured everything: genes, muscles, memory, telomeres. The results, subtle but real. His body, his biology, had danced differently with time. He was, by all measures, slightly younger than his twin. It's strange, isn't it? That time, which feels so universal, can become so personal. You begin to wonder, how much of aging is biology, and how much is journey? And if you had taken the other path, if you had been the one to leave, would you feel it? Would your thoughts still match? Would your voice still echo in harmony? Or would time have softened you in ways even your twin could not name? This question lingers, not just for astronauts, but for all of us, because every choice we make shapes our time, every step, every pause, every path. Even on Earth, no two people age the same. A climber in the mountains, a traveler on a jet, a child growing up at sea level. Each carries their own thread of time. The twin paradox simply makes it visible. You're lying still again now, thinking of them, the other you, the one who left, the one who came back. Would it feel like gaining time or losing it? Would you mourn the seconds they missed on Earth, or celebrate the seconds they stretched out above? The truth is quieter. They didn't miss anything. They lived every moment fully, just differently. And you, down here, lived a full life too. Time was not lost. It simply flowed unevenly, and that's the deeper truth. Time is not flat. It ripples like a pond disturbed by stones. Speed and gravity send waves through it, and you ride those waves, always, whether you know it or not. Even your dreams tonight, slow and drifting, unfold on your personal current of time. Your body is held in its own stream, shaped by every motion, every orbit, every pause. The twin who left is part of you, and their return reminds you that time does not need to match to be meaningful. It only needs to be lived. There's something soft in this realization. Don't you no longer need to measure your life against others, not even against someone who shares your face. Your path is yours. Your seconds are shaped by you and by the world that holds you. And that means perhaps aging is not a single staircase, not a rise, a fall, a number, but a web, a field, a journey through bent time. Your twin, once ahead, is now slightly behind, and neither of you did anything wrong. This is what time does. It diverges gently, quietly, fairly, in its own way. And now, lying under the stars, you feel the closeness of all your other selves. The one you were last year, the one you'll be tomorrow, the twin that lives only in dreams, the one who travels without ever leaving home. You are not alone, you never were, and time, this soft, stretchy thing, has space for every version of you. You close your eyes and feel the motion again, not of rockets, not of jets, but of thought, of wonder. your mind drifting through the question left behind. If two people can live the same years, but carry different amounts of time, what is age, really? Is it counted in candles and calendars, or in motion and memory? And in that silence, between question and answer, a soft truth stirs. Time does not promise equality, but it offers depth, and that depth is what will follow next. Asterisk above you, the sky darkens, not into blue, but into black. And from that blackness, something spins, silent, fast, unblinking, the International Space Station. A home between Earth and forever. It circles the planet 16 times a day. From below, it looks like a wandering star, but inside there are people floating, breathing, blinking, carrying clocks in their chests and stories in their bones. And those clocks tick a little slower. You lie in your bed, the ceiling above. You quiet, the walls holding you steady. You are still. You are warm. You are on Earth, where gravity is your constant companion, pressing into your muscles, anchoring your breath. But out there in orbit, gravity loosens, time bends, and a strange question hums. Are astronauts aging more slowly? The answer, like so much in the universe, is yes and no. Let's float up together, just for a while, up past the clouds, past the birds, past the weather and the air. The blue thins, fades, disappears, and then, there it is, the station like a silver insect in motion, panels spread like wings, gliding around the globe at nearly 28,000 kilometers per hour. Inside, machines hum, data flows, humans drift. No up, no down, only forward, only orbit. And in this fast loop, time stretches. Einstein told us this would happen, that when something moves very fast, time slows down for it, just a little. That if you circle the Earth again and again at high velocity, your seconds become slightly longer, stretched like a breath held just past comfort. And the International Space Station proves it. Clocks inside. The ISS tick just a little more slowly than the ones down here. The difference is small fractions of a second per year. But real, measurable, cumulative. Imagine this. You send up two clocks. One stays on Earth. The other lives aboard the ISS for a year. When it returns, you compare them, and they are not the same. The ISS clock is behind by how much? Only about 0.007 seconds for a year-long mission. But still, it matters. Because it means those aboard the station have aged just a little less. This is time dilation in action. Not a theory, but a physical truth whispered into every orbit, every spin. Yet here's the irony, while their clocks tick slower, their bodies endure faster changes. Muscles weaken, bones thin, fluids shift. Radiation slips through the walls, touching skin and cell alike. The astronauts age more slowly in time, but more quickly in biology. It's a strange, poetic contradiction. Slower time, faster wear. Because even as time stretches for them, their bodies are adapting to a world Earth never prepared them for. Without gravity pulling blood to the feet, fluids rise, faces swell, legs shrink, bones, unused to carrying weight, lose density, as if saying, I'm not needed here. And yet, it is beautiful, too, because the body listens. It adapts, it survives. Floating in still air, their hearts shift position, their spines extend. Astronauts often grow taller in space, by centimeters. They leave earth one height, and return another as if time or motion had uncoiled them. So are they younger. Yes, but not in the way a birthday makes you younger. Not in the way sleep erases fatigue. They are younger by time's standard, not biology's. Their clocks are behind. Their cells are changed, and when they return, Earth greets them not as they were, but as something new, slightly softer, slightly stranger, still human, but altered by time, motion, and sky. You feel it now, the mystery of aging, that it's not a simple line, but a braid of many threads. One thread is biological, your DNA, your metabolism, the ticking of tiny inner clocks. One thread is physical, your motion through space, your proximity to gravity. And one thread is emotional, memory, experience, the way you feel time inside your skin. Astronauts pull on all three. They move fast and slow down. They live high and drift from gravity's grip. They return changed in ways that can't be seen in mirrors alone. Think of this. Your body measures time in wear and repair. Your skin regenerates. Your bones rebuild. Your cells divide and die. But when motion changes, so does the pace of those repairs. The rules shift. In orbit, with less resistance and altered rhythms, the body asks, how fast should I heal? How often should I grow? And time, that quiet partner, answers differently in space. This is why space travel is not just an adventure. It is an experiment in motion, in adaptation, in how life touches time. You imagine yourself aboard the ISS now, strapped into a sleeping pod, the Earth spinning below like a moving painting. You are drifting, no weight, no up, no sound but your breath, and the soft hum of systems keeping you alive. You are alive, but slightly outside of Earth's time. Each hour you orbit, the world turns beneath you. Each day you move ahead or behind by milliseconds. Small differences but real. And over months, years, those milliseconds gather. They settle into your bones, into your memory, into the tiny wrinkles at the corner of your eye. They become part of you, like stardust in your skin. You return to Earth, and the clocks greet you, not rudely, but differently. They are ahead. You are behind, and in that difference a question stirs. If aging is slower in space, what would happen if we stayed there longer? 10 years, 20, a life lived among stars. Would your friends grow old while you stayed almost the same? Would your body, tuned to motion, learn to hold time more gently? Or would the toll of space radiation, isolation, loss of gravity age you in new ways? We don't fully know, but we are beginning to ask, because time is not just a measure. It's a terrain. And space shows us how strange, how gentle, how malleable that terrain really is. You lie in your bed now, not in a space station, but under a ceiling that holds the shape of stars, and you wonder, could we one day live above aging? Could orbit become a kind of preservation? Not immortality, but something softer, a slowing, a pause, a stretch, like taffy pulled long, like a breath held in stillness, like a wrinkle that never deepens. But here's the truth. Even if we could stop the body's clock, we are still stories, and stories are made of time. The wrinkle by your eye comes not just from age, but from laughter. The scar on your knee holds the memory of a fall. The gray in your hair echoes 1,000 moments, none of which can be paused or reversed. Time may slow, but meaning gathers all the same. Astronauts may return younger in seconds, but older in perspective. They have seen Earth from outside. They have floated between sunrises. They have felt time move strangely and come home changed. And maybe that's what matters, not how long you live, but how deeply you move through your time. Back on Earth, their feet return to soil, their muscles ache in gravity, their clocks rejoin hours slowly sinking again, and yet, something lingers. Not just slower wrinkles, but a different rhythm, a quieter knowing that time is not fixed, that aging is not simple, that motion, even around and around in low orbit, shapes the very seconds you live. You roll over now, the night pulling you into its own kind of orbit, your breath steady, your thoughts slow, and somewhere above, a station circles in silence, its inhabitants not paused, not gone, but gently behind, and beautifully alive, beautifully alive. You stand at the edge of something you cannot see, not a cliff or a ledge, but a threshold in the fabric of time around you. The universe stretches quietly, stars blinking like the slow pulse of eternity. But ahead, a silence too deep for echo, a place where gravity does not let go. This is not science fiction. This is the math of the cosmos. The pull of mass, dense and patient, holding space itself in a soft fist, not pulling you like a rope, but curving the world you stand in. You feel weight, not just in your limbs, but in your seconds. Every clock ticks slower here, not broken, not wrong, just delayed by the grip of gravity. Imagine a planet, heavy with ancient storms, orbiting a star 10 times its own mass. Time there flows, just a little more slowly. You wouldn't notice, not right away. But after years, when someone visits from afar, you look the same, while they've aged more. It feels like magic. But it is only gravity, doing what it has always done, holding things close, even time. This is called gravitational time dilation, and you've felt a whisper of it every time you've climbed a mountain or stood by the ocean. Higher up, farther from Earth's center, time flows just a touch faster. Closer to sea level, time takes its time. Your feet are ever so slightly younger than your head, not by much, but in space. With giants like black holes or neutron stars, that difference grows. Time bends like glass under pressure. Not broken, just shifted. Now close your eyes and imagine standing near a black hole, not falling in, just close. Enough to feel its pull. The light around you spirals, slower, redder, stretched. A second for you becomes a minute, then an hour, for someone farther away. You speak, but your voice seems drawn out like smoke in wind to you. Everything feels normal. Your breath rises and falls. Your thoughts unfold as always. But to someone watching from a safer distance, you seem caught in molasses, slowed, stilled, and if you were to fall in, you wouldn't notice the edge. That final boundary, the event horizon, is not a wall, but a line in space where time tips inward. Once crossed, no message returns. Not because of walls or traps, but because even light can't outrun the curve of time anymore. From outside, it looks like you've frozen, as if you were caught in a final moment, suspended forever. But from your view, inside, you still move, you still think, you still think, you still breathe if breathing were possible there. Time, to you, continues on its own track, and that's the mystery. Time is not absolute, It flows differently depending on where you are, how fast you move, and what presses invisibly on your seconds back. On Earth, you wouldn't think twice about it. You live your days by clocks, schedules, alarms, but those clocks are blind to the gentle warping of gravity, to the way a clock in a valley ticks slower than one on a mountain, to how, on GPS satellites, time must be corrected, or else your directions would lead you miles off course, because Earth curves space. Just not as loudly as a black hole. Think of time as syrup poured on a gentle slope. Where gravity is light, it flows freely. Where gravity is strong, it pools thick and slow. You are floating in that syrup your entire life, and you don't even feel the drag, but your atoms do, your DNA does, your thoughts and heartbeats, and the rhythm of your cells, they all move to the gravity around them. There are places in the universe where time barely moves, not stopped, just stretched so wide it almost breaks. Imagine standing near a supermassive black hole, millions of times the mass of our sun. An hour for you there could be decades for someone elsewhere. And what does that mean for aging? For memory? For love? Would a hug shared at the edge of gravity still hold its warmth years later, when you finally return? Would you feel the loss, or would you blink and the world is older? Einstein called this the curvature of spacetime, not to be fancy, but to be precise. Time does not tick in straight lines. It bends with mass, just as a trampoline sags under your weight. You sit on the fabric of reality, and everything you know, your laughter, your sleep, your skin rides the shape of that curve. Even here, in your bed. Gravity pulls on your seconds, softly, faithfully, without asking. And so, you age differently than someone flying high above. Just a fraction of a second. But different, all the same. And when we send astronauts into orbit, we must account for this. Not just their velocity, but the height at which they float. Because gravity is lighter up there, and time flows, just a touch faster, which raises a new thought. If you lived in deep gravity, at the heart of a dense planet, would you live longer, or just slower? Would your life feel stretched? Would memories take on new shape, longer, smoother, softer in recall? Or would it feel the same, because all your thoughts stretch to even your memories, obey gravity's pull, even your dreams, now drift slowly. From this place, leave the black hole behind. Let its weight fade like a memory too distant to name. You're still held by Earth, but aware now that every second you live has a shape curved by the mass beneath your feet. Time is not just passing through you, it's being shaped by where you are, and who you are, and where there is more gravity. There is more time, waiting, but it isn't just mass that matters. Your height does too, and on Earth even here, not every moment is the same. Let's return home now, to the mountains and the plains, where time flows unevenly, step by step. Your body ages not in perfect unison, because Earth, too, is not one single clock. You walk across a field, the wind soft against your skin. It feels ordinary, just a step, then another. But the earth beneath you is bending time, not by much, just enough. Enough for the top of your head to age a tiny bit faster than your toes. It sounds impossible, and yet it's true. Because gravity pulls on time, and gravity is stronger the closer you are to the ground. So here you are, standing upright, and already you are two versions of yourself. The one above and the one below. This isn't science fiction. This is general relativity, unfolding quietly with every breath. A truth so subtle, it takes satellites and atomic clocks to measure, but it happens. On mountains, in elevators, in airplanes, time runs a little faster for the hiker standing on a peak than it does for someone sleeping deep in a valley. The difference is measured in nanoseconds, billionths of a second. Yet, if you lived for millions of years, the effect would stack like grains of sand. You are not one clock. You are many, ticking in layers, muscles, blood, breath, thought. And the earth, spinning and swelling, pulls on each one slightly differently. It's like walking through a room where the floor hums one rhythm, and the ceiling hums a slightly different one. Now imagine the city. In a skyscraper, someone on the 50th floor ages faster than the person in the basement. Just barely, but it's there. The air is thinner, gravity weaker, clocks run freer, go deeper, into a mine, where rock surrounds you and Earth's pull grows. Stronger down here, time slows, the seconds stretch apart like cooling glass. You feel the same, but something in your molecules ticks more gently. The world is uneven, and so is time. Not chaotic but curved soft waves, shaped by mass and motion. Like tides drawn not just by the moon, but by the shape of the land. Even your heartbeat, steady and quiet, does not move in a perfectly straight line. The atoms within you live through time slightly differently, depending on where they rest. This is why precision matters in science, because on Earth, time is local. GPS satellites must correct for this. Floating high above, they feel less gravity, so their clocks run faster than ours on the ground. If uncorrected, our maps would fail, and locations would drift. The Earth is not one clock. It is many clocks, spinning together, ticking, shifting, adjusting. Some move slower in deep caves, others faster on mountaintops. Everywhere, time whispers a slightly different song. Even your dreams, when you sleep at sea level, unfold more slowly than dreams dreamt on Everest. Not enough to notice, but enough for the math to see. And if you could float gently upward, a balloon, a feather, a wish, your seconds would grow wider. Time would stretch for you, even if your heart still beat the same. You'd grow older, slightly faster. Not from speed, but from height. The universe is always watching how far you are from gravity's center. The closer you are, the tighter its grip on time. The farther you drift, the looser the leash. Even now, your ankles age slower than your ears. Does it change how you feel? No, not really. But it changes what time is. It is not fixed. Not uniform. It is not a song played in perfect unison. It is a choir, softly shifting, each voice slightly out of sync, but together, they make something beautiful. And so you walk again, across that same quiet field. You stand tall, the sun brushes your face, and without realizing it, you are living through layers. You are taller than you were yesterday. And that, too, changes how you move through time. Each step you take, gravity holds and releases. Each breath, a note in a song that stretches across altitudes. And now you begin to wonder if time shifts this much, just from standing on a hill. What happens inside your body, where time is told by something even stranger than gravity? And perhaps within you, another clock is ticking, one not bound to mass or height, but to life itself. A biological time, waiting to be heard, waiting to be heard. You close your eyes. There is no ticking, no clock, no second hand in sight. And yet, something inside you is keeping time. It isn't made of metal or quartz. It doesn't swing with gears or hum with batteries. But it never stops. It is the quiet rhythm of being alive, a time told in heartbeats, in breaths, in the gentle decay and renewal of cells. Biological time. Unlike the precise machinery of physics, this time is messy. Not universal, not objective. It bends with sleep and sways with sorrow. It speeds with stress and slows when you're at peace. You've felt it, haven't you? The days that felt like years, the years that vanished in days, the moments that left scars deeper than their minutes allowed, the quiet seasons of healing where time curled inward and waited. Your body has its own clock, written in flesh, in DNA, in hormones, in the invisible signals that pulse through blood and bone. It ticks with the rise and fall of melatonin, cortisol, insulin, the slow waltz of cycles you never see. You are a symphony of rhythms, circadian clocks, telling your body when to sleep and rise. Cellular clocks, telling your tissues when to divide or die. Reproductive clocks, metabolic clocks, each one humming its own melody, each one aging but not at the same rate. Your heart might be a little older than your liver. Your skin might remember more sun than your lungs. Even your brain, split into hemispheres, may not wear time the same way. This is not poetic guesswork. This is measured in labs, in studies, in microscopic truths. Scientists can test the biological age of a cell. Sometimes, it's younger than the person it belongs to. Other times, much older. Why? Because biological time listens to how you live, to what you eat, to when you sleep, to how much joy you feel, or how often you're afraid. A body bathed in constant stress will wear time like erosion. Its telomeres, the protective caps on DNA, will shorten more quickly. Its healing slows. Inflammation rises. The clock inside rushes ahead, but a body at peace, one that rests well, eats gently, moves with care. Its cells age more slowly. Its rhythms hold their shape longer. Its music plays in time. And here's the strange beauty. Two people born on the same day, in the same hour, can have bodies that tell completely different stories of time. One may be 40 in years, but 50 in cells. Another, 60 in age, but glowing with the health of someone half their age. You are not just your calendar. You are the story your body has written with time. A living journal of choices, experiences, healing, harm, and hope. There is a clock in your brain, the suprachiasmatic nucleus that keeps track of sunlight and shadows, that tells you when to rise and when to sleep. But there are clocks in your liver too, in your gut, in your muscles, each one syncing with or drifting from the others, depending on how you move through your days. Jet lag, insomnia, depression. These aren't just emotional or mental. They're symptoms of clocks falling out of tune. And now, scientists are learning to read these rhythms more clearly, to listen to the silent song of biological time, to measure it, to even reset it. There's research into turning back parts of this clock, restoring cellular youth, reversing damage, renewing time from within. It's early, but it's real. Not magic, not miracle. but biology, unfolding its secrets. And you, even now, hold some power over that ticking dot. Every moment you choose rest over rush, nourishment over numbness, connection over isolation. You change your biological time. You soften the edges. You stretch the moment. You slow the wear of years. Even your breath, slow, deep, steady, can tell your nervous system to relax, which tells your cells to hold back, which tells time to flow just a little more gently. You are not just in time. Time is in you. And as you age, not every part of you grows old at the same rate. Some memories sharpen, others fade. Some abilities dim, while others deepen. Wisdom ripens, even as knees creak. Compassion grows, even as eyesight blurs. Biological time is not cruel. It is responsive. It is a partner to how you live. So you step outside. The sun is soft. The air is slow. And, in the quiet of your chest, a rhythm hums, not of seconds, but of self. You are time, not the kind on clocks or charts, but the kind that breathes, that breaks, that builds, the kind that can change. And somewhere inside you, that time is still listening, waiting for how you'll live tomorrow. And what if there's more than even this? If time not only bends to gravity, not only beats inside the body, but dances with the mind itself, could perception reshape time entirely, from the inside out? You lie still, wrapped in warmth, yet your mind drifts far beyond your bed. Out there, somewhere in the deep quiet of space, time is not ticking in neat, even steps. It is bending, breathing, moving like silk in water. It was Albert Einstein, gentle, wild-haired, wide Einstein, who first whispered this truth to the world. Not with thunder or command, but with quiet persistence. Time, he said, is not a rigid grid we all march across. It is a fabric, a thing that stretches, a thing that curves, and you live upon it. You once imagined time as a long, straight road, tick-tock, like footsteps echoing in a hallway. But in Einstein's world, time is a blanket being tugged and twisted by stars, by planets, by your own body as it moves. The faster you travel, the more time yields beneath. The closer you drift to something massive, a star, a planet, a black hole, the more that fabric sinks and warps beneath your feet. It's not something you see, not something you feel in your bones, but it is always happening, and once you begin to feel it, everything changes. You picture it like a trampoline, a wide stretched sheet. Place a bowling ball in the center, and the fabric dips. Now roll a marble near the edge, and it curves inward, drawn not by invisible strings, but by the shape of the sheet itself. That's gravity, Einstein said, and that dip in the sheet, that's time, slowing down in the presence of mass. Even light, once thought untouchable, follows this bend. You are not standing on Earth. You are sinking ever so slightly into the fabric of space and time. The Earth pulls it down beneath you, and in that gentle well, your seconds pass a little slower than they would in the vast emptiness above. Not slower to you. You live your life at your own steady pace. But to someone watching from higher ground, you are in a slightly different rhythm. The clocks tick the same, but they do not agree. Still, there is no alarm, no jolt, only difference. You remember the twin paradox, the one you've already visited. One twin stays on Earth, the other sails into orbit, and when they reunite, time has treated them differently. The traveler has aged less, because speed stretches the fabric of time. But now you understand why. It's not magic. It's the shape of the universe, bending beneath motion. The faster you move, the more your path curves across this invisible sheet. Not just through space, but through time. You use up less of it, even as you travel farther. And this is what Einstein saw. Not chaos, not confusion, but a kind of harmony, like a dance. Mass and energy tell space how to bend. Space and time, in return, tell everything how to move. You are not a stranger here. You are part of the rhythm. Even your body obeys this dance, as you lie still. Your heart gently pulsing. You are being carried through this bending fabric at every moment. Around the sun, around the galaxy. Through the slow swirl of cosmic motion. You don't feel the curvature, just as you don't feel the earth turning, but it's there, the arcs and angles, the slow spirals, the hidden seams of the universe shifting around you, and that means your time, your seconds, your years are not entirely yours. They are shaped by where you are, and how you move. You think again of gravity. You imagine standing beside a mountain, or floating near the edge of a black hole. The deeper the well of gravity, the slower time flows. At the edge of a black hole, time stretches so far that to you it continues like normal, but to the outside universe you freeze. This isn't a trick of clocks, it is a truth of being. Einstein's revolution was not violent. It was patient. It moved slowly through the minds of those who were ready to listen, peeling away the idea of time as a master, and revealing it instead as a partner. Something that responds, something that feels your motion. This new world is softer than the one before, not weaker, but more forgiving. You can't force time to behave, but you can learn its language. Through understanding, through wonder even. Now, your body tells you time is steady, but the earth you live on spins and swings and curves through the cosmos. And with each motion, time adjusts, bends, lingers, runs ahead, falls behind. You live in this bend, and in this new light, slowness becomes something holy. To pause, to rest, is not wasted. It is part of the rhythm. The universe itself curves gently around stillness. Einstein didn't give you power over time, but he gave you a way to see it. Not in hours and minutes, but in motion and mass. In the way galaxies spiral. In the quiet pulse of starlight delayed by gravity. In the seconds that pass differently for astronauts, for satellites, for mountains and valleys. Even here, even now, time is not rigid. It is alive beneath you, and just as space bends, so does possibility. Perhaps your memory moves differently than your body. Perhaps your emotions, your hopes, even your dreams, are stitched into this fabric in ways that science is only beginning to grasp. Maybe love, to curves time, just a little. You close your eyes and imagine Einstein's chalkboard, not as a wall of equations, but as a window. A map of a world where nothing is still, not even time. And in this world, the more you understand, the gentler you become. Because you realize, everything moves. Everything affects everything else. Even your smallest motion ripples outward, softly, across the sheet. There is no center to the fabric, no beginning, no edge. Just layers upon layers of bending time, and you, like a leaf in a slow current, are part of its weave. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, let your thoughts soften, let your breath slow. You do not need to chase time. It will carry you quietly, gently, like the arms of space itself. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be, floating on a curved and living thread, and ahead of you, bending the fabric more sharply than anywhere else in the cosmos, there is a place that seems to pause time entirely. A place where even light must surrender its path, and where the edge of forever quietly waits. You drift, silent and slow, toward the edge of something that should not exist. Not a place, but a boundary. A pause in the story of time. The black hole waits, like an open mouth, not loud, not roaring, but still, so impossibly still. There is no solid surface, no wall. Just a horizon, made not of light, but of the absence of it. The event horizon, a name as poetic as it is precise. It's the last place light can escape before the gravity becomes too strong. After this line, not even photons, the fastest messengers in the universe, can return. From far away, you cannot fall. Time, to a distant observer, has pressed pause on your journey. They watch you inch closer and closer, slower and slower, and then you stop. Not because you have, but because the light of you can't leave anymore. They see a version of you that no longer moves, frozen in time, suspended just above the edge. Your last signal, your final shimmer, stretched endlessly across the sky. But you are still falling, and to you, everything feels normal. You breathe, you blink, your heart whispers in your chest. You don't feel time slowing. You don't feel frozen because, in your own experience, time flows as it always has, moment by moment, tick by gentle tick. Here lies the strange gift of relativity. From your point of view, reality continues. But to everyone else, you are a ghost, a still image on the edge of forever. What happens after the event horizon? No one knows. It is the most profound silence science has encountered. Equations break down, information fades, even language starts to stretch. Some say you would be spaghettified, pulled into a long thin thread by gravity's increasing grip. Others suggest you'd float peacefully into the singularity, unaware of your fate until it's far too late to name it. But before we go there, before we fall, we hover just near the edge, just close enough to feel the slowness, to understand what it means when time is tied to space so tightly that even motion cannot continue. Imagine looking into a mirror held up to time. In the glass, you see yourself not as you are, but as you were, a moment that refuses to move forward. That's what a black hole does to time. It doesn't stop it. It bends it so deeply that the future disappears from view. The closer you get, the more time dilates. Even a spaceship, orbiting near a black hole but not falling in, will age more slowly than one far away. Its crew may live weeks while years pass outside. To hover at the edge is to experience a kind of time travel, but not the kind with flashing lights or paradoxes. Just a patient, weighty slowing. Time itself becomes thick. You are not dreaming. You are moving, but the universe cannot see you move. The silence is not absence. It is compression. All things fold inward, including seconds. There's a strange comfort in this, if you let it be, because in this quiet, strange place, a truth becomes clear. Your experience of time is yours alone. No one can tell you how fast or slow it must feel, and the farther you move from others in distance, in gravity, in velocity, the more unique your flow becomes. You begin to wonder, what is now really? When every now is different, depending on where you are, how fast you move, how deep in gravity's arms you rest. Can there be a universal now at all? Einstein would say no. There is no master clock ticking across the universe. Just many little clocks, each shaped by their own journey, at the edge of a black hole. This idea becomes real. So real, you can feel it tugging at your very breath. You are not falling in. You are learning what it means to be unmeasurable. To be both moving and still. To exist in time that no one else can see. It's lonely, but also freeing, because it means time is not a ruler, it is not a law, it is not a prison, it is a field, a curve, a softness that adapts to your place in the story. Maybe the black hole isn't a monster, maybe it's a mirror, a place that forces us to ask, not how much time we have, but what kind. Is time still yours if no one else can see it? If your life plays out beyond the horizon of visibility, do you vanish, or do you simply become private? The stars around you whirl, spiraling toward the darkness. They stretch into arcs, trails of light twisted by gravity's pull. From outside, everything seems to orbit endlessly, but from inside, from this quiet edge, a different path begins. You do not have to fall in to feel it. The edge of forever is not a doorway. It is a question, asked in silence, answered in motion. What would it feel like to live where no time could follow you? What if you were the only clock still ticking, the only story still unfolding in a space that forgot how to count? You hover, you breathe. You watch the universe rush past while you stay suspended. Time has slowed, but not for you, and that, too, is a paradox. That speed can create stillness, and stillness can carry you further than anything fast. The edge of forever does not end with an answer. It opens gently, patiently, into the next mystery. What happens when time touches gravity? Where does the weight of space take your seconds? And if time bends here, what does that mean for the earth beneath your feet? Asterisk, you step out of the spacecraft, and the earth feels heavier. The soles of your feet meet gravity like an old friend. The air wraps around you with a familiarity so dense, it nearly brings tears to your eyes. You are home, but the home you return to is slightly ahead, and you are just behind. This is the final arc in the loop. You've traced the curve of time as it bends and ripples around velocity, gravity, biology, and thought. Now you've landed, and Earth has kept ticking. Clocks moved forward, people aged, events happened. But for you, it all passed just a little bit slower. Aboard the space station, you traveled at nearly 28,000 kilometers per hour. Fast enough that time, obedient to Einstein's law, slowed its pace for you. Not by much, just milliseconds. But enough to make you younger than you would have been had you stayed. Enough that a precise clock would know. Enough that a twin might look older now, by a whisper. Time and space is a soft distortion. It doesn't shout, it hums. It hums in the rhythm of your heart, adjusting to Earth's gravity again. It hums in your muscles as they ache with weight you haven't felt in months. It hums in the seconds you now share with a planet that moved slightly faster than you did. And this, too, is time travel. not across centuries, but across cellular moments. They test your blood, they examine your bones, they measure the telomeres at the ends of your DNA, those little caps that fray as you age. They compare the before and after. What changed? What stayed the same? What does your biology say about your journey? And quietly, a pattern appears. Your telomeres are longer. Time, in its strange vacuumed cradle, may have softened the aging inside you, or perhaps your body, released from Earth's constant pull, unfolded in ways we don't yet understand. Still, the moment your boots touch the earth again, the clock resumes. Tick, 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 faster now, rejoining the pace of gravity and rotation. Back in bed, back in your world, the stars are still above you, but they feel farther away, not because you've come down, but because they remind you that time is never singular. It bends around mass, it stretches with speed, it drapes across space like silk on wind, and every person you meet, every breath you take, carries its own thread in that fabric. You carry your time with you now, like a coat made of invisible seconds. No one can see it, but you feel it, woven into your bones. Your memories are shifted, not just in content but in rhythm. Your story has been stretched gently, and even the sleep you fall into tonight feels different, as if Earth's gravity is not just pulling your body down, but holding your hours more tightly. When we speak of returning home, we often think only of place, but time is a home too, and leaving it changes you, just a little. Just enough. Outside, the moon is rising, the same moon that watched you orbit, the same moon that listens now, in silence, as your breath slows. The sky hasn't changed, but you have. The body you rest in is younger than it might have been. The mind you sleep with holds more questions than before. And time no longer feels like something outside of you. It feels like something you've passed through, and something that has passed through you. You begin to understand. Time is not a river you stand beside. It is a current inside your veins. It pulses behind your eyes. It blooms in the stretch of your skin and the motion of your thoughts. And as your breath settles into sleep, you let go of the idea that time must be one thing. You let go of clocks and calendars. You feel only motion, a slow drift forward in stillness, in softness. In starlight, you are home, but time still moves. And even in dreams, you wonder, if you leave again, what kind of time might you bring back next?